What's going on, fans? Are you up to date with the latest updates? Well, I'm here to bring you the current news. Today, we're going to explore some details about an injury related to an athlete who, unfortunately, left the game last night against the San Antonio Spurs. However, the team received some positive news following a dominant victory over the Spurs, which is crucial for the NBA playoff dynamics, especially considering there are only 8 games remaining in the regular season. Now, let's dive into the details of the athlete's injury, which will be our main focus of discussion today. I'd like to provide some context about what happened during the second quarter of the game between the Spurs and the team. The athlete was heading toward the basket, preparing to either shoot or pass, when he suffered an awkward fall to the tailbone area, causing his legs to momentarily freeze. It seems he slightly twisted his right ankle, the same ankle that kept him out for 31 games earlier in the season. After the injury, it was reported that the athlete is feeling pain in his right ankle and will not return to the game. This is especially unfortunate as he had been showing signs of improvement in his recent performances. Although his return after the ankle sprain wasn't immediate, he appeared to be finding his rhythm and becoming a more productive player, making the right decisions and contributing significantly on both ends of the floor. However, this setback is frustrating. After speaking with the coach, it was mentioned that the athlete is scheduled for an evaluation on Monday. The coach expressed his disappointment seeing him leave for the halftime break, lamenting the situation, especially considering that he was just returning to his best form. Everyone is hoping this injury isn't serious. During halftime, the athlete mentioned he was feeling fine and maintained an optimistic view about his condition in relation to the 31 games he missed due to the ankle sprain. While it's uncertain whether his statements are entirely reliable, he expressed hope that this new injury would not result in another prolonged absence, despite initially being described as pain rather than another sprain. Unfortunately, it seems this athlete can't catch a break. After missing 31 games, which was a significant absence due to the ankle sprain, he now seems to have twisted the same ankle again. This situation is especially discouraging for a player who hopes to secure a significant contract and establish himself as a key piece in the team's future plans. Since his return, he hasn't been able to replicate the performances he had in the 10 to 15 games prior to his injury, averaging only 13 points per game. This is his first stretch of 10 games with a new teammate, and his shooting efficiency has significantly declined. Every mid-range shot raises concerns about his ability to get the ball to the basket, presenting a disappointing performance with 3 makes out of 19 long-distance attempts. As a result, he's not providing the spacing needed for the team to capitalize on three-point opportunities, as defenses aren't forced to guard him closely at the arc. His numbers in assists and rebounds are also low, contributing to a less-than-ideal fit in the team's current strategy. With other players getting important minutes, he's been struggling to make a difference when on the court. If he can't integrate properly with the core players, it will raise questions about the team's future. With Butler and a few others receiving a good amount of minutes on the floor, along with Quinton enhancing the rotation and G.E. Santos improving the team, Kuminga hasn't been showing his best performance on the court. If he's having trouble playing alongside a player like Steph, that's not a good sign, considering he is a player who should be easy to mesh with. However, don't be surprised if he ends up sidelined due to this injury. There are only 8 games left, and he certainly wants to be present as much as possible, but this is also a strategic decision. There's a great deal of respect for Kuminga, who is only 22, and it's not wise to risk an injury that could become chronic, especially with the possibility of a contract extension on the horizon. This situation is unfortunate for Kuminga, who is aiming for a lucrative contract. It's important to remember that he and his representatives turned down $30 million per year before the start of the season. I'm not suggesting this has anything to do with fate or anything similar, but it's noteworthy that Kuminga turned down that sum in search of a contract worth $35 million or more annually, and so far, that hasn't materialized. The intention, however, is to keep him long-term. Let's stay tuned for updates on his injury situation, so it's important to keep an eye out. Everyone is hoping the team can get back to full strength, considering Gary Payton II is still out and there's no projected return date for him. Show your support for the team because they need all the good vibes to go strong into the playoffs. The team had a significant win over the Spurs the previous night, showcasing a solid performance. They nearly hit 150 points and won by 40 against the Spurs, who were struggling. Although they didn't face De'Aaron Fox or Wemmy, and the opponent wasn't particularly strong, the key factor was securing the win and climbing to the 6th position in the Western Conference. When we look at the updated standings as of March 30th, we see the team is currently out of the play-in tournament, while the Clippers suffered a heavy loss to the Cavaliers. Let's now look at the Grizzlies, who are just one game ahead in the standings at this point. The Timberwolves pulled off a crucial victory over the Pistons, but they're dealing with upcoming suspensions following a big brawl they had with Detroit the previous night, which was quite shocking. The team is taking advantage of some favorable opportunities as we approach the end of the season, and this win is monumental, not just because of the opponent they faced, but also due to the current circumstances. The team now controls its own destiny for the rest of the regular season. If they win all the remaining games, while that might not be completely feasible given the difficulty of their schedule, they'll secure a spot out of the play-in tournament. They find themselves in a position to determine their own future at this moment. The team ahead of them, the Grizzlies, faces a challenging schedule. It's worth noting that they just fired their coach and are less than 10 games away from trying to lock in a playoff spot. Their situation is quite chaotic at the moment, with John Morant not playing consistently. He's returned in recent games and performed well, but the Grizzlies will face two tough opponents ahead, one of which is the Warriors on April 1st. Tonight, they'll face the Celtics, meaning they're going through a stretch of back-to-back games against two teams vying for playoff spots, one of which is considered a favorite to win the title this season. If the Grizzlies struggle in these two games, they could find themselves in a tough spot by April 2nd, with 7 games remaining in the regular season. The Grizzlies are currently on a decline, and it's crucial for the Warriors to take advantage of this opportunity. Not winning against the Grizzlies could not only hurt the chances of reaching the 5th seed, but also significantly increase the likelihood of entering the play-in tournament. Defense was present, but challenges were evident. One of the key players from the Houston Cougars team is expected to score more than 16.5 points as a guard, as he'll manage to convert key shots. Then, there's an incredible Auburn freshman, recognized for his sharp shooting and offensive bravery. I expect him to also surpass 14.5 points. It's vital that everyone stays informed. The app is an excellent tool for this. Recently, it seems that the Golden State Warriors have regained their accuracy when facing the San Antonio Spurs. And let's be honest, San Antonio, especially with Victor Wembanyama, has one of the weakest defenses in the NBA. They have trouble defending long-range shots, and the Golden State team took full advantage of that in the last game. It's worth remembering that, in previous games, Golden State have been creating good shooting opportunities but struggled with conversion. However, surprisingly, they hit 21 of 44 three-pointers, almost 50%, and recorded 42 assists. This is impressive, considering they made 56 total baskets. The ball movement was exceptional, and everyone was in sync. Even a bench player managed a long-range shot, showing that the team was in a good rhythm. They won by 42 points against San Antonio, with 42 assists. The Spurs also had an interesting offensive performance, with 30 assists on 40 made baskets, a notable number. No one stood out more in the third quarter, where Golden State truly dominated, than one player who had a remarkable performance, making 4 three-pointers while the Warriors went on an impressive 18-0 run during that period, increasing the lead to 40, effectively deciding the game. In fact, the main players didn't participate in the final quarter. It was incredible to see Golden State secure such a convincing win, finally showing their strength against San Antonio, especially after 2 previous games where they faced weaker opponents and ended up getting surprised. The competitors weren't on the court during the final period, but it was impressive to watch the team secure a solid victory. They finally showed strength when facing a more renowned opponent, after having played against 2 less challenging opponents earlier. In a matchup with the Pelicans, the start was also challenging, but one player's performance was remarkable. He showed confidence in his shots, showcasing his boldness on the court. The player had a quick release, aware that he was in excellent form, and still contributed with assists and rebounds. This player stands out as one of the most influential on the team, and it's crucial to recognize the progress he's made since the beginning of the season. His presence has been vital to the team's success, especially when he's in rhythm, hitting long-range shots. Another athlete who really shone in a moment of the second quarter was a young player who scored an impressive amount of points. He had a good performance with long-range shots, something not often seen from him lately. He was facing some challenges in this aspect, even when presented with good opportunities. However, in this game, he managed to get back into his rhythm. If he can maintain this performance and become more consistent with long-range shots throughout the regular season and playoffs, the team's potential would rise significantly when one of the key players is on the court. The young player shines even more when he plays solid defense, turning that into offensive chances. He's in better flow when he gets more court time, leading to more makes. In the last game, he was exceptional and continues to be one of the team's standout defenders, frequently tasked with guarding the opponent's most skilled guards. These players are just a few of the many who had an exceptional performance against the opponent. What's your opinion on who stood out in this game? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Now, let's discuss other players who also had a great performance. Facing the opponent's best guard, these two were just part of a larger group of players who truly shone against San Antonio last night. Who was the most outstanding Golden State player against the Spurs? Now, let's revisit some other Golden State players who also stood out. Butler may not have been exceptional, but he continues to be an elite connector for the team. Time and again, I see Butler driving into the paint, making a little fake, and finding someone open for a three-pointer or a teammate cutting toward the basket. While he hasn't become the primary scoring threat that might be necessary in the playoffs, he's constantly improving his game and strengthening the chemistry with his teammates, understanding where they'll be on the court. He continues to make the right plays day in and day out. Butler has been sensational, and Golden State leads the league in points off turnovers since he joined the team, which is probably a testament to his defensive efforts and ability to facilitate the offense as well. Steph, in a way, matched Butler's production, not needing many shots last night, making 4 out of 10 attempts. While he wasn't his best form, he didn't need to go on a scoring spree, as the others were fulfilling their roles against San Antonio, hitting 2 out of 4 from deep and adding 6 more assists. Golden State was moving the ball well, and a huge performance from Steph wasn't necessary. It was great to see the rest of the Warriors roster stepping up and succeeding without Steph needing to be the hero. Moreover, Draymond had a quick 5-point streak in the third quarter, hitting a couple of three-pointers. Everything seemed to fall perfectly into place for Golden State last night, and Draymond remains the backbone of this team on both ends of the floor. Without him, they wouldn't be serious contenders in the Western Conference. QP also had a solid performance, and Golden State received excellent contributions from all players. As mentioned, Kevon Looney even made a three-pointer, and everything was clicking. Stay tuned, because when we have updates about Jonathan Kuminga's injury, you'll know we'll bring all the information here. Stay up to date with daily news, rumors, live broadcasts, and more, as we'll be live for the game against Memphis tomorrow. So, stay connected. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Imagine the fast-paced, high-octane offense of the Golden State Warriors, now with Darius Garland pulling the strings as their point guard. Could this dream move become a reality? Rumors are swirling that the Warriors, long known for their sharpshooting dynasty and fluid ball movement, are eyeing Garland to take their already formidable backcourt to new heights. But what would the addition of the Cleveland Cavaliers star mean for the Warriors? Let's dive into the potential shakeup that could change the landscape of the NBA. Garland, who has evolved into one of the league's most dynamic young point guards, has been turning heads with his incredible performances. The 2022 All-Star selection has seen his game flourish in Cleveland, most notably when he dropped 51 points, including a scorching 10 of 15 from three-point range against the Minnesota Timberwolves. His knack for scoring and playmaking has made him an offensive juggernaut, but it's his vision and leadership that could make him the perfect fit for the Warriors' high-paced, perimeter-centric offense. Why would Golden State consider a move for Garland now? With the aging backcourt duo of Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson potentially entering the twilight of their careers, Garland could be the long-term answer. His ability to stretch the floor with his shooting and facilitate plays with his passing would blend seamlessly with the Warriors' style of play. Moreover, Garland's youth and potential would be an asset as the Warriors continue their quest for championship contention. But it's not just Garland's scoring that has Warriors fans excited. His performance in clutch moments, like his 41-point explosion against the Charlotte Hornets in double overtime, shows his ability to rise under pressure. Imagine a backcourt featuring Curry, Thompson, and Garland, each capable of taking over a game at any moment. The Warriors' offensive system could become even more unpredictable, making them a nightmare for opposing defenses. As Golden State explores ways to remain competitive in the post-Durant era, adding a star like Garland could be the spark they need to return to their dominant form. With his combination of scoring, playmaking, and leadership, Garland could be the missing piece to a new era of Warriors basketball. Will this potential move come to fruition, or will it remain a tantalizing possibility? Only time will tell, but the excitement around Garland's potential arrival in Golden State is undeniable. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.